Whoa, dude. I don't know why she's angry.
I don't think he wants to see her angry.
I don't think he does either. I don't want to see her angry.
I don't want to see you angry, Fernanda.
This is weird.
Hi.
Hi.
Welcome to Membriash.
Welcome. We are finally filming Love is Blind Mexico. Truly sorry for the delay.
I am curious to hear, because I've heard some people say that Iris has a minor redemption.
Oh,
as well.
Okay.
Spoiler alert, skip 10 seconds if you don't want to hear it. She meets up with Renee, and Renee's family might be kind of odd.
I wonder what that means.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see what that means.
I'm interested to see what that means too. I'm trying to come in here as unbiased as possible. I know that we gave Iris a hard time because I think that it was due at that moment, and I'm just curious to see what happens going forward.
Same.
Anyway, we're going to keep this brief and get right into watching. Yeah, let's do it.
Love is Blind Mexico, episode 5, baby.
I don't know how to react to things that make me feel uncomfortable.
Oh, some people are saying that a lot of back and forth on Saul. A lot of people, I mean, there's so many things that we didn't even get to address because we try to fit these around 30-minute episodes, but I don't know, that whole thing's a disaster, and I'm kind of excited for them to not be together anymore because I think it'll be healthier for, in particular, so Lety, and him too. He wants something different, but
I think they're just a bad match.
Yeah. If
I'm being honest, like, unless I see some more red flags from Saul, it's literally just like you have two people that couldn't want a different scenario for what makes them comfortable.
I do want to address, though, there were some red flags for him. It wasn't that he didn't have red flags.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. He had red flags.
Yeah, quite a few.
Just nothing that progressed to the point where I was like, wow, this guy is like literally the worst.
Yeah.
I think that when you give affection, you expect a little in return.
He's big on affection. And a lot of them have it. Do you know what I mean?
No,
like,
I get that.
A lot of them have that relationship.
I also feel like you shouldn't give things expecting reciprocation.
Oh, yeah, I agree with that, too.
I think that's a really bad perspective.
I agree with that, too.
It's like you don't give a gift expecting a gift in return. You should be giving the gift should be...
And at the same time, if you're constantly the one showing like
affection,
physicality and affection towards someone and they're not reciprocating, eventually that feels shitty.
Absolutely. That's true.
And it can mess with your self-confidence and stuff. Like, and I don't say that like making excuses for Saul, and I don't say that like I feel like he's coming too hard against Lety, and like she told him ahead of time.
Absolutely.
So
I felt very misunderstood today.
Yeah, she's gonna continue to feel misunderstood as long as they're together.
And I feel like there was an expectation on his part for me to show affection in a certain way.
They even talked in the pods, and she was like, "Oh, you know, like a intellectual connection for me can be like affectionate, like that can be romantic."
Yeah, that's
and
like you and I, like we do a lot of talking, and like it's really important to have that part of our relationship.
Yeah, and I feel very like energized by that. Like I feel the affection in that, and I feel the value in that. But there's some people that
it doesn't. It's not enough. Yeah.
Right.
I feel guilty about the fact that I'm not as sure as you, and maybe I've been overthinking this a little.
Maybe I'm reading this wrong. I just feel like Willie has a lot of anxiety.
Oh yeah, and it's just going everywhere. Yeah, it's kind of what it feels like.
I don't know if Willie is scared of committing to me or if it's the experiment that's overwhelming him.
I think he's overwhelmed by the experiment.
Yeah,
I think if you have any propensity towards having like anxiety, this thing is not for you.
Yeah.
I cannot take responsibility for
No, of course not.
the amount of alcohol you consume.
Oh, this is the alcohol comment. I assumed it was Iris and Renee after they had all those alcohol comments, but it was actually that Saul just got too drunk.
So he got lit on the group party day and then didn't show up very well.
Yeah, because he was feeling underappreciated, and then he just started talking shit.
I was giving it because I expected something back. It shouldn't be that way.
And he's agreeing with what you said.
He addressed it,
It shouldn't be like you give something expecting like a tit for tat.
Yeah, because that just doesn't feel great, especially for the other person.
Yeah, it doesn't.
But you're also allowed, if you keep giving, you're getting nothing in return. You're allowed to feel a way about that, but you shouldn't expect it.
It felt like you wanted everyone to see that I was rejecting you.
I think part of the problem too was, and like she was talking about how publicly it's
Yeah.
like he wanted everyone to know what was happening.
Yeah.
And that put a spotlight on her. And she does not seem like a kind of person that likes a spotlight on herself. And especially for something like that.
Yeah.
Where it's really a conversation they should have been having, not something he should have been airing like his grievances with the entire group while he's drunk.
I agree.
I was empty, but I also had to give you more.
I'm sorry, I've never experienced that.
Okay.
He's actually showing up pretty well.
Not intoxicated, and
He
he's taking quite a bit of accountability right here.
And he's like, I just don't understand.
Yeah.
And like admitting that she has been really like kind to him.
We should pace ourselves and take it step by step.
Also, like, I feel like sometimes they're like, oh, we made a connection in the pod, so like this has to be a lifelong connection. And that really isn't how most relationships work.
Yeah, or dating. Yeah.
Because like some people are just not compatible. And for me, I feel like these two people are just not compatible.
It doesn't feel that they are, for sure.
I don't know. I also don't want to act on this while I'm hurting.
That's good. Take some space. They're both showing up really well in this conversation,
They
it feels
are.
like.
They're both great.
Iris sent me a message. I don't know how she found me. I thought that she didn't want to talk to me anymore.
Oh man, it's gotta be so confusing.
That is confusing.
I honestly don't know why he would be comfortable with that again, because it's the second time. There's a pattern already developing here. First time he's like, you didn't talk to me for a couple of days in the pods. And then second time, it seemed great, and then you just ran away.
Closure, too, would be helpful. Like, even if he's, I mean, it does seem like he's probably open to starting up again, but he also probably doesn't know all the crap she said.
It's true.
And she's not going to tell him.
Because she said, I cannot forget that she said some really heinous shit about him.
She did. And I'm sorry, but even if they are together for the rest of the show, unless she tells him how awful she was and he sees that, I would imagine that's going to cause another rift.
Yeah.
You're still wearing the ring. I think that means something.
Wild.
The way she showed up was like, this feels weird.
In my opinion, they've clearly already met off camera.
You think
already.
so?
Yes.
Yeah.
This is not the first time. He's kissing her hands. She's saying, my husband's a doctor. Like, they have already reconnected. And this is for the show, in my opinion, which is fine. I get it. It's okay. But, like, this is not the first time.
Yeah, that's strange. Did they go from that to this?
Yeah.
He's so handsome. He dresses so well. I love his eyes. I love his jawline.
Don't you get the opinion that a producer said to her, like, yo, you're being really horrible?
I know.
And because she's done
I love everything
180.
about him. He's so handsome.
A 180. Dude.
That is like, it feels manic.
I think the connection we had in the pause was a strong one. And now we have a chance to get to know each other.
I don't know how you feel about that.
I feel uncomfortable.
Well, I do too, because the problem with starting a relationship like this is if that is who she is truly on the inside, and that's what came out when she got stressed, and it was the worst version of her, someone else shouldn't have to deal with that day to day, because the other stuff's going to come up.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know?
I'm sure she does something. Maybe she leaves hair in the shower.
Hair in the shower! Those are presents.
I made you a heart out of my hair on the wall the other day.
Yeah.
What about Emmy? Are you gonna call her? Are you gonna tell her? You're not worried, are you?
I'm feeling nervous energy.
No, I am worried.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
She's worried.
That's such an important meeting.
And my hunch would be she's been with people before that are like, I want to be with you, and then they don't feel like that includes her child.
Or they're saying, I want to meet your kid, and then it goes poorly.
Right.
Or something. Yeah.
We're still very much in love, but much more grounded now than we were in Tulum.
That's good.
I feel like Fernando's going to be fine. It feels very genuine that he included her child in the proposal.
Yeah.
He's the one saying, when do I get to meet her? Like, how are we going to
He's not avoiding
talk to her?
Yeah.
No.
I guess the thing I'm afraid of is how Emmy is going to react to me.
And he can't control that.
No.
So he can be like, I want to do this, but how is she going to feel about me?
Absolutely. And you don't know. They could hate you. You could be the best step-parent in the world, and they could hate you.
You went and spoke to everybody and told them that I was the one to blame for this.
It's one thing to share with like one close bud, but he was drunkenly going around to everybody.
She said he told everyone she was like a cold person and all this stuff. And he doesn't even remember because he was drunk. It's hard too, because I think all of this just pushes her further away.
Yeah.
So like if what he wanted was more affection from her, this was
getting the opposite.
not the way to get it. Yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely personality clash here. I don't think that there's any hope
I don't think so either.
of them.
I feel like they
finding
shouldn't
common
even
ground.
move in together. I feel like they should just be done.
I think that, and you see a lot of pain.
I think I'm gonna go.
from like both of them.
Oh yeah, she's done.
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay. I understand.
That's good though.
And she gave him a reason. She was like, this wasn't what I expected or what I wanted from what I met in the pods. That's smart. She's doing the right thing. I think
Saul's showing up well at the breakup.
I actually think he would be a good partner to the right person.
Yeah,
but it's just not her.
Wasn't her.
And then all of that, like the stuff he struggles with, is gonna get worse if he's with her.
I think Karen could be jealous of Iris.
Fernando, don't be shitty.
Hi, Iris. How are you? I'm here with Karen. It's going great.
Oh, that's nice.
And they're doing it together, so it actually takes the shady element out of it. And he's like, hey, nice to meet you. Like, we're good, but like, I hope you're well.
I'm not worried about what Fernando sees in Iris because I trust what he's told me and shown me.
And he basically said that Karen is exactly his type, and that he thought Iris would be more his type than she is.
I really like the fact that he knew Karen would be nervous about Iris reaching out, and then he did that voice note thing. That was nice.
Together,
yeah.
That was honestly stand-up behavior. And she was
really
included
good.
in it.
At
and he was nice to Iris. He wasn't shitty, but he was nice to her while including, like, I'm happy with my relationship.
Yeah.
That is top-level behavior, honestly.
I was nervous when he was like, oh, like, she's good-looking, whatever. I was nervous that he was going to get weird. And instead, he did literally the best possible thing.
Yeah.
And then...
Because Iris is a very attractive woman.
Sure.
But, like...
And then Karen was like, oh, she's very beautiful.
Yeah.
And then Fernando was like, she's cute.
She's very pretty.
She's cute.
Yeah.
So he's not denying it because it's true. Iris is beautiful.
He's not like,
but he didn't say
smoke.
like, oh yeah, she's super hot or anything.
Yeah,
he was like, yeah, she's okay.
Yeah, exactly. Honestly, another green flag for that relationship.
For real.
Honestly, they bring me happiness.
Me too.
I'm gonna go walk him. Well, it was also kind of a trick to make them talk on their own for a bit.
I like that she actually said it was kind of a trick because they always do this on the show. But she explained exactly what she's doing. She's like, oh, I'm gonna pretend to go do something and force them to talk. Yeah, we know. But I appreciate her being upfront.
I mean, there's a risk that you end up suffering. Right when you're about to get married, the other person says no.
I like her mom, too, because her mom is literally like, I want her to find someone, but this feels like a weird way to do it.
Yes, which is a valid concern.
And she's worried that someone would be using it just to be on the show.
Yeah.
Whereas Fernanda, she's like, she is serious.
Yeah.
So, like, if you're not serious, you're gonna hurt her.
Uh-huh. I could see Gerardo and Fernanda getting married.
Me too.
I am really nervous about what's going to happen when Affair shows up.
I'm not as nervous.
Really?
I think he might be like, oh, she's pretty. I don't...
But there were scenes where she was mad, Fernanda.
Yeah, I could see her being mad.
Okay.
I would be mad. If we walked in and your head turned and you were like, oh, she's hot, I'd be like mad. Like, we would be fighting.
Yeah, like, what the f***'s wrong with you? Right. How does that make me look?
Right. How does that make me feel? Like, that makes me feel horrible. Yeah, we'd be fighting. But I wouldn't break up with you over it.
I'm really excited to meet Sylvia's mom.
People are really down on their relationship. There's just, in my heart of hearts, I want it to work. And they seem happy-ish. And I don't know, people said they saw things, and I don't, maybe just wool over my eyes. I don't know. But
I think they seem happy, too. He seems like a schmoozer.
Yeah.
And that's part of it, is like, it's hard to take him seriously because he seems schmoozy, but I think he would seem like this regardless.
And what if that part of that is their playfulness, and that's something they're connected on? This has been relatively delightful, but that said, we still need to take a little bit of an ad break, so we'll be right back.
I can pitch in if you like.
They laugh all the time.
They do.
I'm really loving doing these couple activities with Sylvia.
Like loving shopping?
They're saying doing everything right, so it's hard for me. I understand, though, the concern. He seems to like her.
Yeah, we saw his ass.
And then we just have to trust, right? And they have a sexual connection, right? So, like, we just kind of have to trust that it's real until they prove that it's not. I don't really see a lot of red flags that it's not.
Yeah.
Do I have your approval to ask for your daughter's hand in marriage?
Of course you do.
I mean, he's being really sweet and nice. So the guy could be an absolute psychopath. But I'm seeing him showing up. I don't want to nitpick every little thing, too. Like, some people, and you can do that, go for it. But, like, eye contact, mild things, like, you can go ahead and get into that. But I just feel like, in general, it feels pretty good.
I think so, too.
Renee and Iris?
Why are they here if they didn't...
But they are. So here's the thing. Karen is over here thinking, like, okay, yeah, the texts or whatever, cool. But she's not on the show. And then they fucking show up.
Yep.
Oh, man.
All right, so that was episode 5.
We're coupling these just because we do not have enough time. So it's
we literally don't.
Yeah.
Like, literally, there are not enough hours in the day.
Yeah.
So 5 and 6 are going to be one episode.
Yeah.
I also think it kind of makes sense to, like, couple these episodes because, frankly, when they first start, like, living together, like, not a ton of stuff is happening.
Yeah, there's
like,
not a ton of drama or anything.
Right, because they've already met each other. They've already spent the honeymoon together. So, like, you get a sense for who is going to be working out well and who's not. And it's just a continuation of that.
All right, let's do it.
All right.
What's up?
Karen's face. She's like, oh, God.
But why would they be here if they weren't a couple?
Because she's like, they shouldn't be here. They're not allowed here.
It's like she saw like somebody come back from the dead.
Yeah.
I don't know if she wanted to stay just to keep being on the show or if she truly has a genuine connection with Renee.
Yeah.
He's a good read, frankly.
Fernando
and he likes Renee.
Yeah, that's true. And for all we know, he and Renee chatted afterwards. Like, yeah, dude, she like dumped me and shit.
Yep.
Like, we got engaged and then she just fucking bailed, never told me why. Suddenly she's back.
The way I remember it, Iris exclusively talked about Fernando. I mean, she never mentioned Renee.
Oh, yeah.
She did exclusively talk about Fernando.
Karen.
And she was possessive of Fernando.
Yes.
And I'm sure Karen remembers that. Like that shit with Chio.
Yeah.
Like she was possessive of Fernando.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't want anybody else talking to him.
To that point, I think Karen was hesitant to share feelings about what she had with, because she's like, I don't want her coming at me too.
Yes.
And to see this about face is just, oh, man, they're feeling it. And I'm feeling it.
Look, I'm just shocked that you're actually here and together.
Karen, you don't need to. Oh my God, she's calling it out.
All of a sudden, Iris declares her love? Give me a break. But hey, love is blind.
Whoa. Oh.
That was pretty in your face with Karen. But I
was
also feel like it's real. But I also don't want people to like make people feel bad because who knows? I don't know.
So you never declared your love?
No. No?
That's not true. That's not true.
Fernando's like, you sort of did. You sort of did.
God.
She's just 100% did, isn't she?
It's just really peculiar that they're all happy-dappy after Iris confesses her feelings to Fernando on the last day.
And Renee's just sitting there taking all of it.
Poor Renee, dude. And the reality is, too, and I would have to rewatch it, but I'm pretty sure what happened in the pods was that Iris knew that Karen had a strong relationship with Fernando, pretty much knew Fernando was picking Karen.
Tried to preempt it.
And then she went in with those gifts.
Yeah.
It didn't seem like it was the other way around. And I'm pretty sure they even showed a conversation of Iris telling somebody else that she was gonna do that.
Yeah, I hear you.
I don't agree with the way Karen handled it, though.
Yeah, you thought it was a little too in your face.
Yeah, it was too much. I think it should have been a one-on-one conversation with her and Iris.
Yeah, because kind of blowing it up in front of everybody just sucks, you know?
Yeah.
When it was just the 4 of us, I thought it would be a good time for them to iron out their differences.
I don't think Karen trusts Iris, so I don't think there's a way for them to iron out any differences because it's like she's not going to trust what Iris says.
My issue is with you.
I get where you're coming from. I didn't say I understand
you told
it.
me you did one thing and then did another.
I feel really bad for this situation. Sucks.
I really don't give a shit about what you do or how you feel. I don't give a shit if you're with him.
Possible Karen's had a few drinks too.
And she felt blindsided and she had a few drinks. She's coming at your eyes.
Yeah. It's hard because like she was in that like women's area.
She saw the way it all played out.
She saw the way that Iris was acting.
I don't know if she's here to annoy me or who the hell knows. I don't care.
She doesn't want to see her. She doesn't want her in her life.
Karen feels like she's there for Fernando, not for Renee, basically.
I mean, you went on and on about sisterhood bullshit, and then you go and do the opposite.
And Iris keeps looking at Fernando while this is happening. Like
I'm
he's
almost
gonna
like,
protect her from it.
Yeah, there's almost like riling Karen up and make. I don't know. I don't want to like blame Iris for the way Karen is showing up, but I'm having a hard time being mad at Karen because of everything we've seen.
Yeah, I just see how much Iris is looking to Fernando while this is happening, and
yeah,
that
right?
feels weird.
She's obviously dealing with some heavy issues of her own, and like I said, she's taking it out on me.
I don't feel like she was dealing with like big issues before Iris came in, to be honest. I don't feel like she was dealing with much at all except being a little nervous to introduce her fiance to her child. That's literally the only thing that she was dealing with.
I'm good with him, you're good with her, but I'm not good with her.
I really like what you said there. She was like, Renee, if you're good, I'm happy for you. I'm good with you.
I'm not good with her. Yeah. The whole time she said, because Iris keeps saying, oh, you're not good with us. And she's like, no, I'm not good with you both. I'm not good with you personally.
Yeah.
You as a person.
I'm not judging you. I get it. But can we please put this whole thing to rest? It's enough already.
Oh, Fernando.
He doesn't like it.
Well, it's the fighting.
I think Fernando was a bit uneasy about what I said to Iris. Well, sorry, but just for today, he'll have to deal with it.
I think he doesn't want to dwell on it.
Yeah.
You know, I think he wants to leave Iris behind and just move on.
And it is fair for him to say, like, it involves me. He's like, I get where you're coming from, but please don't do this again. Because it was like the four of them. Fernando was involved. It is a lot to continue to bring your partner into when, like, they have other shit, basically.
And then there's also, like, the public meetup element of it where it was in front of everybody. And he's like, what I heard from that was more, if we're going to process it, not like that.
Yes.
Not in front of everybody, not in front of her.
Yes.
Like, let's just do our thing.
Yes.
I could see him being open to talking about it, but that's kind of the way I interpreted it.
My relationship won't be affected by this. I don't know, though, if it will be the same when it comes to Karen and Fernando. I don't think so. Not after what I saw today.
I feel like she's there just trying to fuck up Karen and Fernando. I really do.
I'm so uncomfortable.
Me too.
All I'm saying is, you've said what you needed to say. Case closed.
It makes you uncomfortable? I won't do it again.
It's like don't keep dragging it out is what I'm hearing, you know, right? Like,
and she's saying stuff like we're a team, and he's like, yeah, we're a team, and I don't want to be doing this. Like, I don't want to be playing this game, basically.
I can feel, and he's having that conversation immediately after Iris leaves.
Yes.
And she is so fucking peaked.
Yeah.
And, you know, like you said, there may have been a couple of drinks involved. Like, that's hard. But they got through that pretty well.
They did.
And the way he presented, he came up like really like compassionately, I think.
Yeah, he did.
And she was frustrated, and then they kind of came to a middle ground.
It was nice seeing them be able to do that, because I think that's probably about as heated as Karen ever gets. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That seems like that
was relatively heated.
It was hot for sure.
It wasn't the worst.
Yeah.
We've seen people get pretty ugly.
She didn't like scream at her or anything. She was quiet the whole time. Yeah.
Bye.
Right.
That was a good one.
It's almost more intense because of how quiet she is.
Yeah,
you're
right. I feel like I have been Karen in my life, where I'm relatively quiet, and then when I snap, I snap. You know?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I'm a snapper also.
Yeah.
I think it's when you're a people pleaser, you're a snapper.
Yeah.
Often.
Yeah.
Maybe not always, but like.
Because you build up and then you just.
Boom! And then you're just like. Yeah. And then people are like, whoa.
Where'd that come from?
Yeah.
I'm like.
Well, this has been building for a long time, okay?
Yeah.
It's not a great way to interact with people, to be honest.
I can see that my mom is very happy now.
Yeah, I look happy.
Oh, her daughter's being so nice.
Yeah. Honestly, I was really worried about Willie and Francesca, but I think maybe moving into the house and like continuing the process, he's showing up pretty good, right?
He is showing up great.
What does your family think about all this?
From what I can tell, you are all more open-minded. My parents are more conservative.
Francesca's great, though. They seem actually like a really good match.
Yeah, I was really nervous because of Willie's anxiety, but they seem happy. We don't see a lot of them, too, which indicates to me nothing bad is really happening.
Yeah. It also, like, Francesca not having anxiety, I think sometimes means she doesn't understand what Willie's going through, but it also means that, like, it's that kind of classic conversation that you see, or a combination where it's like you have the one person that maybe has a little bit of like insecure attachment or whatever, and then you have the other person that Francesca seems very secure, and like she doesn't appear to have a lot of like mental health concerns and stuff like that, and sometimes that can be really grounding for the person that like does. Yeah. You know, because she's confident. So where he's nervous, she's like, we're good, we're okay. Yeah. You know?
Yeah. But she didn't like dismiss him or make him feel bad. She actually showed up really well for somebody that's going through that.
Yeah.
I'm really excited that my family is coming today.
My daughter has a brave soul. She went through a very traumatic event in her past relationship.
Oh, interesting. You and I talked about that, whether some of her conversations and comments about alcohol were from like trauma.
Yeah.
And her mom just said she went through an incredibly traumatic event in her past relationship.
I mean, it could have been like really bad. That's, you know.
Yeah.
He looks so nervous. I've never seen him like this. He's usually so confident.
He wants to make a good impression, so he looks really uncomfortable.
Yeah.
From the day her brother was born,
She's always been there for him.
That's big. That's got to be hard, you know? That's a totally different life than, like, 99% people can ever understand.
Yeah.
Like, not only, like, living it and being there, but knowing that you're always going to have to be there.
And that in the absence of her mom being there for him, she needs to, like, step up.
Yeah, and that's got to be scary, too. That's, like,
Totally.
yeah. And it's cool that she's accepted that. I mean, in that regard, she's a really good family member.
Absolutely.
And I definitely want to give her credit for that. Like, it doesn't sound like she even takes it begrudgingly.
No.
She's like, I will.
Well,
I will be there for him.
She said in the pods, she was like, my brother's my soulmate. And
yeah,
like,
that's
if
so
anyone
sweet.
didn't accept him, it's an immediate deal breaker for me.
Yeah.
I mean, it's literally like, it seems like that is her priority, is her brother.
Yeah, that makes me like her a lot more.
I like Renee a lot. I hope he'll be with my sister through good and bad times.
Aww. Oh, this is making me like both of them better.
Yeah.
Whoever said redemption arc was like kind of right.
Yeah.
Also, it's tough with her mom saying what she did about, like, her having a traumatic event in her past. It's like...
What if he does remind her
what if that did trigger her?
Like, an ex?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's possible that happened.
Yeah.
And I
And then that drove a lot of what she was talking about.
Yeah.
You know? Like, yeah, that's totally
it doesn't make
possible.
it okay to put that on somebody else.
No.
But depending on how traumatic that relationship was, you're going to feel something in your bones, even if it's not right.
And
then it's taking responsibility for that.
It would make sense, too. Some of the stuff she said was just rough, and I was surprised that, like, she was saying it. But if it's coming out of, like, the nerves of immediately feeling triggered from, like, a past event... Right.
And then you have a camera on you, and you're basically having a mental health issue.
Yes.
I said that before, that it was she's kind of awful.
Yeah.
Or she has like mental health issues. And it basically the way they talk about her past.
Right.
And seeing the way she showed up, it's possible it's the latter.
Yeah.
And it doesn't necessarily mean that it wasn't also a bit like judgmental of his like presentation, you know?
Sure. But maybe coming from
it
a
was
different
because
place.
of like severe trauma or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Totally.
And she is kissing him and being nice to him.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
I still don't fully trust her, but...
It was hard watching her say the
some of
stuff that she said.
Yeah, it was.
Like, that was really tough.
I feel really bad about Renee. I hope he accepts my apology and that we can all move on without any bad blood.
Oh, that's nice.
Okay.
Oh.
Oh, you can tell it looks like she really feels that.
Yeah. I think Karen also just got heated.
Yeah,
like, the
for sure.
situation with Iris was rough, and, like, she got heated because of it.
Yeah.
I have to meet her family and Emmy.
Meeting her daughter might be intense.
That's gonna be, I think, the most important day out of all of them,
It's
honestly.
a make or break moment.
It's almost easier for Sylvia because she has to be a parent then, but you're a parent to a young child that has no formative memories at that point.
Yeah.
You know?
They can't just look at you and say, like, I hate you, because they're too young to do it, versus a teenager.
Yeah, a teenager can just be like, I don't like you. I've got a grudge.
Yes.
Yeah, a 2-year-old is just going to be a little shy at first, probably at most.
Right. And when the 2-year-old, like, grows up, that person is a parent figure for them.
And then Sylvia is the mother.
Right.
Always was a mother because she also has her mom.
Yeah, always was a mother figure versus
Yeah.
Fernando coming in and he's just some random dude.
He's a dude.
You know?
Yeah.
And depending on how it's been for Karen in the past, you know, like if she's had other people that she's dated that the daughter hasn't liked, I mean, like it would be tough to be a kid in that scenario and you have to accept this new person that might be living with you.
Yeah.
Might be marrying your mom. Like, that's a lot.
That is a lot.
Just tell me.
I didn't know they put cameras in their bedrooms.
Why is there so much surveillance?
When did they start doing this?
Mexico.
Not even a good night. He just went to sleep.
Uh-oh.
What happened?
Uh-oh.
What happened?
Last night, we were getting intimate and you left the building. You just turned over and passed out.
What?
What?
They were getting intimate and then he's just like, never mind?
This is me angry.
I'm confused.
I'm confused.
Why is she angry? I'm confused.
Like, we were gonna get intimate and then it didn't happen.
I mean, that happens, though.
I don't always want to have sex.
I always want to.
What?
What?
She's mad at him that he didn't want to have sex? He was tired?
I hear what she's saying if it's only when he wants to, but if he doesn't want to, he shouldn't be forced to have sex.
Well, and then she immediately said, at least if the translation is accurate, she immediately said, I always want to. And it's
I
like,
know.
okay, well then sometimes he doesn't.
It's not always going to line up then.
I always consider you first.
Fernanda has a lot of trauma in the area of abandonment.
Okay, so she's feeling insecure. That's what he's saying.
Yeah. And then it's coming at him like,
Yeah.
here are all the things you're doing wrong.
Yeah, because he's like, we have so many positive moments because I didn't get you coffee and because I wasn't intimate with you last night or something. Like, suddenly I don't love you. It's like, no, not
or
true.
suddenly he's not considering her, and then he's having to be like, I do consider you. Like, I'm considering you when I do this and when I do that. Oh, I don't know. This isn't great.
You want to see me angry? Okay, you got it.
Whoa, dude. I don't know why she's angry.
I don't think he wants to see her angry.
I don't think he does either. I don't want to see her angry.
I don't want to see you angry, Fernanda.
This is weird.
I feel like we've seen them have a very loving relationship this entire time.
I thought so too.
I thought it was really good.
I thought it was great. What's happening?
My only fear was my affair, and now this is happening.
This is confusing.
Thinking about the life we could have together makes me very happy.
Oh, I love Sylvia's outfit. She looks so good.
They both look so fucking stylish.
They
you
do.
know?
They look good together.
When people are like, they don't seem like they fit, I'm like, they look like they do.
Yeah, they do.
And if anybody's gonna have a model wife taller than them, I feel like the gambler poker player is exactly the person you expect to have that kind of life.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
The model that's taller than him, 100%,
right?
Dude.
Like, here's my babe.
Right, yeah.
Let's hope that everything stays this transparent and he only uses those faces for poker.
Yeah, that's hard because that's got to be playing in her head. I mean, I'm thinking it.
What do you
is
mean?
Poker face. Is he just,
Okay. The difference is you maintain a poker face throughout like one poker game, not days, weeks with someone.
Yeah,
like
I
this
get
is
you.
very different.
Because you think she'd be having more things coming up that'd be like, this feels odd. He was cold with me last night for no reason.
And she
Instead, they're
doesn't
always
have
just
any of
bubbly
that.
and laughy.
Right. I see nothing but green flags with their relationship.
fine
I'm
for
not
me.
gonna lie. I'm open to other people having red flags. I just don't have them.
Yeah, we're struggling to find them.
Yeah.
Gerardo needed a timeout.
I feel like she's like putting him in timeout, not like he needed some time for himself. It's like, you know what I mean? The way she's talking about that.
I held her and was just with her. I said, I love you. I'm always here for you.
Okay, that's a good response to somebody who might be having like being triggered about not feeling loved enough. I don't know. I kind of feel like she needed a timeout.
She did.
But her putting all that on him makes me uncomfy.
I'd say her weakness is there are days when you won't want to see her, man. I mean...
Today was one of them.
Oh!
Today was one of them. She said it. She said it.
Dude, where were you a while ago, man?
Watch a movie?
Oh, that's funny.
Oh.
I like that her friends are bringing that up. It probably makes him feel a lot better.
Yeah, and then the fact that she said today was one of those days.
Yeah.
She was mad today.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate her admitting that.
Me too.
That's big.
And it is good that he's seeing her at, her worst.
Yeah,
like,
you
he's
need
seeing
to
her at a
see
difficult
that.
time. Yeah, absolutely.
That's actually one of the good elements about these shows. We could say, like, they're toxic, they don't have therapists, which they need, and all these things. That's all valid,
Right.
but there is, like, a boiler room, like, high-pressure sort of situation here where you are going to see them at their worst.
Yep.
I mean, and that really helps you determine whether or not you're making a good choice.
For sure.
This is Karen.
Hi, nice to meet you. I'm Sylvia.
Oh, she's meeting his family.
Okay.
She seems very nice, very sweet, very calm, and that puts me at ease.
I like Karen.
Me too. Oh, and Fernando's mom likes her too.
Everybody likes her, but you're nice. And even then, it would kind of seem more the other direction.
Yeah.
I'm trusting you with my pride and joy.
That's really sweet. It's even the way she's like, it's like the reality as a parent, like your relationship evolves and stuff. And like maybe because like she has to accept that Fernando wants a wife and that's going to be a new person in his life that is going to maybe change their relationship.
Yeah.
And that's not a bad thing. I think I think that when you see a toxic parent, it's often like them not being willing to change their relationship with their child because their child's life is changing.
Yeah.
I feel like.
And it would be hard because you go from, like, you and I have talked about this. You got an opportunity this summer to go on a solo vacation with your parents, but that was the first time that you've spent time with them without me there, like a large amount of time.
Yeah.
Since we were like kids.
And one of the only times in my entire life I spent alone time with the two of them for like a week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like us being together means that like, we come as like a package a lot.
Yeah.
And that can be really hard when you're transitioning your relationship with your child from being you and them to like you, them, and this other person.
Absolutely.
Like that's a big shift.
So, are you ready? For what?
To get married.
Well, I mean, I don't know if...
Willie is stressed. He's like,
Don't
I don't
ask
know,
the
dude. I
end
don't know if
question.
I'm ready. I don't know.
Willie.
For someone with anxiety, though, this process would be so hard.
Absolutely.
And you worry, like, if you're a worrier, like I'm a worrier, then you're like, oh, what horrible thing could go wrong? Like, what if this, what if that? Like, am I ready?
Yeah. Especially if you have any rough relationship history, you're like, what if this person isn't the person I think they are?
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
And he's immediately, I think the other hard part would be like, he's immediately going to be a dad.
Yeah.
And
that's
whoa,
a lot.
That's a lot.
That's the end of episode 6. Those are kind of low key. I'm glad we're combining them, actually.
Yeah.
Not a lot happened. We stamp of approval most of this.
Yep. Everyone's looking pretty good. I like the Iris redemption arc. I'm glad that she got it. I'm glad we're getting a little bit more context. Whatever went on with her that was super traumatic, obviously, like, she's not going to go into, like, gory detail about, and that's fine. But, it was nice, like, hearing her mom, like, reference that and just remembering that, like, that may have been a factor in her initial meeting with Renee.
It doesn't make everything okay.
No.
If accountability is... So my biggest problem with her right now is a potential lack of accountability with Renee specifically.
Yeah.
Because the way she talked to the camera, is Renee going to... Let's say they got married, and this is actually all for real, right?
Right.
He's going to watch this at some point.
Right.
And he's going to be like, that's my wife saying to everybody that I look like a drunk. That's f***ed up. We still have 2 more episodes to go. People say Renee's family's interesting. I knew that they were going to meet up and stuff. I didn't know really anything beyond that. So I don't know what that means.
Because her family was really great. Very accepting of Renee.
And he showed up really well
Renee
in those spaces.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It really did shift my perspective of Iris, and I'm now glad, even though before I was like, I don't want to see her on this show anymore, I am glad that we are seeing more of her, because I think the way that I felt about her before was maybe not fully fair.
Or not fully realized, because we don't know enough. And that's
the hard part. We talk about this a lot, but like, you're seeing these snippets of people, and depending on the snippet you see depends on how you feel about the person, and that's tough, because like if you take the worst snippets of like either of us, we look like monsters. And I think that that's true of like virtually every human on
almost
the planet.
Everybody. Yeah. You do supercut of just like people being mean, and you're like, okay, well,
just people being literally at their worst.
Yeah,
like it's not gonna look good for
and that's
pretty much anyone.
That's a lot of what the first part of this show is. Was the supercut of Iris looking bad over and over again.
Right. So it is nice to add additional context to that, because that is not, and this is probably true of virtually everyone we see, but that's not her in her entirety.
Yeah.
Like, that's not who she shows up as every single day.
We always knew of her love for her brother and then her family and as well. And seeing that is like, she's not an all bad person.
Right.
She has some things that she probably needs to work on. She has some trauma, obviously. Yeah. Right. So I'm glad we got that.
It's true of like the good too. Like some of these people, I think, and people call it like the edit, right? But I think sometimes it's just like how you show up in a specific circumstance. Like some people look really great, and then that's also not just like they're gonna be not great sometimes.
Well, and as much as we're fawning over Fernando and Karen's relationship, and in particular Fernando just showing up perfect over and over again, I think Karen, you could say she popped off a little bit, but other than that, she's been great too. But like, they're also not perfect. You know what I mean? And like, they're gonna do things that aren't great.
And sometimes you just haven't seen like what that, like everybody has a button that if you press it, they're like not gonna show up great. And part of it is whether or not that happens in the context of the show. Yeah. And for some people, it's happening over and over again, and for other people, it may not happen at all. You know?
Agree.
But it doesn't mean it's not there.
I'd love to hear, like, we miss a lot of context because we're talking at each other, with each other, and watching and reading, and this is in a different language for us. So if we miss things, as always, I'd like to hear what you think about, some of the fine details here.
Yes, please.
Do you want to talk about more stuff?
No, I think that's good. Yeah, tell us what you think, what we missed. I'm sure like you said, we missed a ton of context. Watching with subtitles and also talking at each other the entire time is like a little chaotic.
It's chaotic,
yeah. Thank you for watching with us. Like the video, subscribe if you want to watch the rest of Love is Blind Mexico with us. And we are hoping to get the next segment of reaction episodes up tomorrow. So hopefully you will see that. And
we'll be caught up.
Back on pace.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Thank you all.
Thanks.
Bye.
Then I got it knocked, and I started going,
ridiculous.
Oh, that was a tearjerker.
Hey, we're going to go on a cruise this summer. You should come with us.